Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I want to talk about Arena of Valor and a few accidental heroes that have been released on the North American server. Now, one of the issues that has and still does plague and confuse Arena of Valor players and prospective players and ESL tournament casters and stuff like that is the fact that there are multiple different servers. We now have at least 5 different servers with a large player base on each, and they all have different heroes on them. A lot of them have the same heroes, but there are specific heroes that you can only find in specific servers. Like, for example, Batman, I believe, is only available in EU right now, and so on and so forth. So that has been a problem and continues to be kind of a sore spot for the community in an otherwise fantastic mobile MOBA like this. And I try to give Tencent the benefit of the doubt when it comes to this kind of situation, because I understand what they're trying to do, both from a marketing perspective, to having different characters on different servers to kind of build up hype for other servers, but also because just releasing a new game with 100 new characters, because I think they're close to that many characters if you calculate all the missing characters from all the different servers and you add them all together and you aggregate them, it would just be a huge mess. No one would be able to play. The ranked mode would be a disaster. Even casual would be a disaster because there would be so much confusion going on and the game wouldn't really succeed. You know, that's why every game starts off with a small pool. Even card games, they start off with a small set of base cards, and they build on that as the player base builds in order to kind of smooth out the progression system, smooth out the difficulty and the learning curve, because with 100 characters, the learning curve would be absolutely insane. So I definitely give Tencent the benefit of the doubt when it comes to what they've done, but we do have an exception to that rule, and that is when characters are accidentally released ahead of schedule. Now, as of making this video, Tencent has already responded in full, at least on Reddit, to the problems, and there was 2 main problems, the second one being a lot bigger than the first. So I do applaud them for responding and taking responsibility and apologizing and hinting that we're going to be getting some free stuff, which is an awesome way to apologize to the community. But I wanted to cover it and give you my thoughts on it so that you can get a little bit more of a rounded opinion, and so that you can see how at least some companies handle these types of situations when they happen, because it's literally a bit of code or a few extra clicks or a few fewer clicks on their end that could be the difference between this mistake happening and this mistake not happening. So what exactly happened? Well, Max the Wonder Kid was teased to be released on Friday, March 16th, which is tomorrow, and they were going to have a sale for him, and they started posting stuff on Twitter, on Facebook, which is what they normally do to kind of hype up the release of a character. And at least on the North American servers, Friday is the day they release new characters. However, that was not the case. He was accidentally released too early, and I can't show you his release because they've since fixed it, but if you go on Reddit, or if you just happen to be playing a casual or ranked game on NA, you could find a player that is playing with Max, because for a very short period of time he was available in the shop for either gold or vouchers. Players picked him up, purchased him, and then it was disabled. However, what Tencent didn't do is they didn't disable Max on the server, so when you went to queue up with him, you could queue up with him. You know, right now they have a lot of other things disabled. So for example, if I have a trial card for a character that's not in the game yet, let's see if I can find one here. Toro. Okay, Toro's not in the North American server at all. He's on other servers, but not North American. If I try to use it, they give me a pop-up. So of course, I can't even queue into games. I can't even use this trial card. But for whatever reason, they didn't disable Max from being queued into or being queuable. So he was, and he is still now. And that upset a lot of players, because the reaction that people had was, well, it's Tencent's fault. It's not the player's fault. We didn't hack the game or do any kind of funny things. You guys accidentally sold him too early. So either release him now and let everyone purchase him so that we can all enjoy the character and it's fair, especially if he's overpowered, which is up for debate, or disable him for everyone until the intended time that he's available, which would be in this case Friday. They decided to do neither. They just left the players who had him to continue to have him in kind of an advanced notice and kind of almost like an open beta, and everybody else just has to wait, which is kind of a sucky thing to do, and it does create an imbalance, and it does create this air of exclusivity. You could argue, if you wanted to be super cynical, that Tencent did this on purpose because it builds up additional hype for Max, and it does create more of a desire to get the character by seeing him in very limited games and having that kind of, build up of anticipation. The second mistake that they made, which was a little bit harder to spot, but which had, I think, more powerful impact and more ramifications, was with the Wukong chest. So what they've started doing recently, I think they started doing it as far back as Talanis, or maybe even before that, in addition to releasing a character chest with their new uniform or skin, in addition to releasing the skin as a purchasable item for vouchers, they released a very small voucher chest, and that would randomly contain a bunch of kind of crummy items, and then of course the most valuable items, which is actually the hero or his skin. So you could technically, if you got super lucky and you played with the kind of loot box, you could get the skin for a huge discounted price. What wasn't listed in the pack details, and what unsuspecting purchasers surprisingly pleasantly surprised to find out, was that there was actually a small chance of unlocking another character, Joker. So unfortunately, or fortunately, players who purchased this, some, because it was extremely low chance, probably like less than 1% chance, when they purchased voucher packs from the Wukong chest, they actually unlocked the Joker, and they were able to play him on the server NA when he's not even close to being available. He's not even being teased as a release character. This is like potentially months down the road. So this one really kind of screwed the pooch for Tencent, because now they're being put in a really painful situation. That they either play the same card that they played with Max, and they kind of just close their eyes and ignore the problem, which would probably cause the community to have a complete fit, and they were already raging on the Reddit, which is understandable. It's not fair that some people, because they spent money, accidentally unlocked a very famous and sought-after character, the Joker, and he's a pretty good marksman to boot, but then to not make it available to anyone else who wants to pay full price for him is kind of an additional insult to the paying, supporting players of this game. So they had to respond. I don't want to read the full response. I just want to give you kind of the Cole's Notes versions. Tencent apologized. They recognized their problem, and they're going to release in the future some sort of limited event to unlock the Joker. Now, this could be like the Talanis event, which was frankly pretty bad. You essentially had to spend money to get her skin, the Love Sworn skin. Hopefully it's not that kind of event. Hopefully it's like the Wonder Woman event. Although that one was difficult to complete, you had to play basically non-stop every day for 5 or 6 days to unlock all of the Wonder Woman tokens and get her character unlocked. She was 100% free to play obtainable. So hopefully they go that route with the Joker. Hopefully that also means Batman is not far behind, so I'm crossing my fingers. But I wanted to pass the question on to you guys. What do you think of Tencent's response? Do you think that they handled the situation with Max and then with Joker correctly? If not, how would you have handled the situation? Keep in mind, they still have to make a profit on these characters. They can't just give them away for free to everyone. That would be kind of ridiculous. Also keep in mind that while the Joker is available on other servers, I believe he's available on Southeast Asia and EU, but I might be wrong about that, Max was not available on any server, I believe, aside from test servers, prior to this release. So this mistake kind of, in some ways, was worse than the Joker one, in some ways was not as bad. But let me know what your thoughts are on this. Let me know how hyped you are for the Joker, because I am absolutely pumped, especially since I've been playing Batman Arkham Knight, catching up on old Batman games on the Twitch live streams. If you enjoy that kind of stuff, definitely hit us up tonight at 7 p.m. because we're jumping back in. We're about 35% complete the main story, so we're getting through pretty quick. Subscribe if you enjoyed the content and you want to support me, and of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.